and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Cam Skattebo got jobbed, robbed, and hosed. He was not invited to New York for the official Heisman ceremony this weekend as a finalist, but I've got some good news for you. Thanks to the snub, just imagine the angry runs we are going to see when ASU takes the field in the playoffs. And number two, Skattebo will receive at least one first-place Heisman vote, and I know that because I cast that vote. Not as a gift, mind you, because I believe Skattebo when he says he's the best running back in the country. I believe Ashton Genty's superior numbers are a function of lesser competition, and I believe Travis Hunter's candidacy is strengthened, maybe even diminished, by the fact that his quarterback teammate is the newly crowned Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and likely the number one overall pick in the draft. And if you've watched Skattebo week after week, you know he is the one doing most of the heavy lifting, the tone setter for the entire program. To me, there is nobody in college football more deserving of that trophy. Now, maybe my vote gets rescinded for telling you all of this. I don't care. I'm that angry. And maybe I get accused nationally of blatant homerism, something that longtime readers and listeners know that I loathe and absolutely despise. That's fine too. Because if there was ever a time for me to serve the locals, it's this time. It's this team, and it's that guy, one of the most impactful college football players I have ever seen. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Standing on the stage with me is WWE superstars Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, here to present the WWE 2024 Big 12 Championship title belt to the most outstanding player. No surprise, I think, based on what we saw him do on this field. Your MOP of the 2024 Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship is Cam Skattebo.
That was Saturday in Arlington. Damn, Bick!
Highlight of the game, I would say, when the WWE
Right.
was.
Oh, of course.
Yes, for you, it was.
So
certainly.
let's just keep this a little secret between us all, because I'm really not supposed to have said what I just said until this weekend. But you know what? This is the time it needs to be said. The fact that he's been aced out of this finalist thing, this is the time it needs to be said. And after going through this all and going through every candidate, I literally could not get off this kid. And maybe some people, like I said in the blast, will accuse me of homerism. That's fine. I think Cam Skattebo deserves 15 years from now to be able to say, I got at least one Heisman Trophy vote. That's what I believe.
Look, I tip my cap to you because we joked about it last week going into the Big 12 championship game. There's always that one outlier voter that goes viral. Can you believe this guy?
Who's this Yahoo who gave Skattebo a vote?
Skattebo. And I know you've thought about that before you hit send on your ballot.
Oh,
yesterday.
I sure did. Because as you know me, homerism, there are a few things in journalism or this business I despise more than homerism.
All right.
And I just did it.
Let me ask you this, though. Are you secretly hoping that under the first place vote column, it's at least the number 2 next to Cam Skattebo?
Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I know Tim Healy has a vote.
Yes. And so I'm hoping I'm not alone in this because I might be that guy. I might be that dude.
That's the other thing, too, is like ASU voters, and I don't know how many, there's a ton of Heisman voters. I would imagine like Doug Haller has a vote. Like a lot of the media that covers ASU has a vote. We didn't get an up close and personal look, a head-to-head look at Travis Hunter this year.
No. But again, when you've got a teammate that's the number one pick in the draft, that's the newly crowned Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
When your head coach is the greatest coach in the history of college football.
Listen, and I'm not trying to diminish Travis Hunter. His receiving numbers are very, very good, and he's got a handful of interceptions. And the two-way player, that's something that carries a great deal of allure. I admit that.
And I don't want to diminish it either because he's a fantastic player, and I think he's going to win the award. But this is a very rare case in that one of the statistics that is pushing people to that vote is snap count.
Yeah.
Now, what he's doing is remarkable and excelling on both sides of the ball. I get it. He is a unique talent, but you don't normally hear that as.
No, you don't.
He plays every down.
But again, a running back is a more difficult position to play than wide receiver. It just is, especially if you play it the way Cam Skattebo does. And again, the value of Cam Skattebo, the physicality, the mindset, it's interwoven. And if you haven't watched this kid, you don't get it.
And that's it, though, because the argument is, how could you vote for him over Ashton Genty? Mm-hmm. Because statistically, Genty is superior.
Yeah.
And even if you look at who's more important to the team, his team is currently ranked ahead of ASU even though they're from a smaller conference.
I struggled with that mightily. And the reason I landed on Cam Skattebo was because of what he has meant to this program. Individually, where this team was, what a surprise they are, where they were picked to finish, and how his nature, his physicality, and his temperament are really the driving forces of this football team. And again, I think amassing statistics, and it's not like Cam Skattebo has a dearth of statistics. He's the only guy in the history of the Big 12, to have 1,500 rushing yards and 500 receiving yards, right?
Yeah.
So that's last done by Christian McCaffrey. So that's pretty good company statistically.
Who had those? He won the Heisman that year, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Wait, did McCaffrey?
I think he did.
He
did.
No, I don't think he did.
That's right.
Those,
he didn't.
Yeah, those Stanford running backs would be finalists, but never won.
Yeah. Bryce Love, Christian McCaffrey,
and
Toby Gerhardt.
Yeah, Toby. And so you're bringing up a very, very valid point because Boise State's in the playoff. They're actually got a higher seed than the Sun Devils do, and the kids got insane numbers. But that's the Mountain West. It's not the same. Look at what Boise did against Wyoming. Look at what ASU did against Wyoming.
It'll be interesting to see what both running backs do in their quarterfinal matchups.
I agree.
You know what's interesting? You talked about the conferences. When was the last time the SEC did not have a Heisman finalist? I mean, that's a pretty. The finalists are two from the Big 12, the conference everybody derides, by the way, and one from the Mountain West and one from the Big 10.
Do you know
three former Pac-12 players, by the way?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Do you know this is pretty funny? Do you know who is going to have a very good month of December? Sporting goods stores in the Valley selling ASU gear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Cactus Sports, right? They're the leaders of it.
Not two finalists from the Big 12, Jarrett.
Oh, I forgot he didn't actually make it, Cam Skattebo. One from the ACC.
Jared Facts.
ACC, Big 10, Mountain West, and the Big 12.
I'm trying to look back to see when a
SEC player didn't make it.
Stetson Bennett finished 4th in the voting in 2022 behind Caleb Williams, Max Duggan, and C.J. Stroud. 21 there was, 21.
You're right, Dan, about the Valley, though. Like, you could tell that the Valley loves a winner. That, like, the whole Awaken the Sleeping Giant is not just for the team being good. It's for the fan base sort of recongealing.
Oh, yeah. So from our buddy Dave Leonard, a high school math teacher, great dude, great Sun Devil fan, as we've talked about before, he sent me this text. Being a high school teacher in Tempe yesterday was awesome. Such a buzz around our campus about ASU. Kenny has activated this age of fans, too. I heard students around campus all day talking about ASU and wearing ASU apparel. Never seen this in my life. That's how deep this team is going.
Yeah, but I'll go back to the 96 season, and you talked about the dearth of statistics, which Cam Skattebo doesn't have. Jake Plummer finished 3rd in the Heisman voting that year, and anybody who watched ASU football play and watched Jake Plummer, what he meant to that team, I was appalled that he finished behind an Iowa State running back that year and Danny Werfel. And if you go back now, 28 years later, and look at Jake Plummer's stats, you'd be like, what kind of impact did he have? He didn't have gaudy numbers.
Exactly.
It's what the impact to the team and the program was.
That's such a great comp, too. It is. And you don't get it if you don't see it. And no one has seen it better than us.
Yeah. Pretty bold, though, Bick. I tip my cap to you, sir.
Thank you, bud. I'm sure I got in a whole bunch of hot water.
Just yesterday, you were saying you can't.
But him getting blocked out of the ceremony put me over the edge. Put me over the edge. So I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Maybe did you get it in time?
Yeah, they might rescind
they
it.
fell one vote short. Forgot to put postage on your.
I mean, what would an election be without some sort of issue, right?
Again, in doing research on this, there were people in early November crowning Travis Hunter, mid-November. What is the rush?
I didn't watch a ton of Colorado football, especially in Big 12, but I just looked at his numbers. They're remarkable.
Yeah,
They're
he's
insane.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's the uniqueness of what he's doing.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
But he's playing alongside Shedeur Sanders. I'm sorry, it's a qualifier.
Yeah, can you have a Heisman? I guess
So when I get ripped nationally, you two yo-yos better have my back.
Never. Dan Bickley, I don't know him, never heard of him.
I can't believe you did that.
That's not my.
What were you thinking?
Thanks for watching Bickley and Murata. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.